Welcome to this weekly beat with me, Matoma, and I'm so excited for today's guest. He flew all the way from Netherlands, and with 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify, his career has just skyrocketed. 26 years old, dominating the EDM world with collaborations with Garrix. We have Armin van Buuren, Tiësto. He's pretty much worked with all the legends, all the great ones. And today, I'm excited to be working with him. His name is Jaimes, and I'm outside his hotel, and I'm ready to pick him up. So let's go. Yo!
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Jaimes? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
Oh, you smell amazing.
Oh, well, that's what I like. I like to smell good.
Yeah, that is...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited today.
Oh, man, me too. It's my first time Oslo as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no way.
And I love it.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's cool.
How many countries have your music taken you to?
Oh, man. Well, especially this year and last year, everything's been going like very fast and growing very fast. So I've been...
Congrats with that,
Yeah,
by the way.
Thank you. And
I've been following you, and I've been such a fan since day one. And the fact that you said yes to come on this podcast really meant the world to me, because I know that we're gonna write a banger.
Oh, I know for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to write something.
So your artist name is Jaimes, but
Yes.
but that's not your real name.
No, my real name is Jim.
Yeah.
And actually, how I came up with Jaimes is it's probably a very immature, like childish kind of thing. I like the name Jaimes, just Jaimes. Obviously, you spell my name with an I in between the A and the M. But I wanted to still keep my first name, so I wanted to get the I in there.
No, it's so cool because like it has like this artistic touch to it.
Thanks.
So and of course I knew that your name was Jim.
Yeah.
So and I don't think many people know this, but in Matoma you have Tom.
Yeah.
In Matoma.
Yeah.
And my name is Tom. So we share a similar...
I mean, we
connection.
almost have the same thing. I had some problems though with my name because the way you write my name is actually a Mexican name.
Oh, is it?
But I didn't know that. So I had like one time I had a song that was on the Belgian radio. And that was my first time on the radio, and I was super excited. So I was following the live stream, you know, on the website of the radio station. And then it was like it was finally the moment to get to hear my song for the first time. And then they announced my name. It's like, this is Better Days with Ken Colt and Jaimes. So they thought it was like a Mexican name. So they, and it is. So I can't blame them for it. But yeah. So from that point on, I was like, okay, I need to get straight with people. Like it's just pronounced James.
Yeah.
So don't think of it as a Mexican name. So it's actually pretty funny.
But that is a cute story though.
Yeah, it's a great story to tell at birthdays. Yeah.
How did you end up just wanting to pursue the musical dream?
It's actually a fun story. Like I have never been a person that has plans, that had plans. So I always just go with the flow, just see where life takes me. And I just like to be in the moment as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I can remember I was in high school and I was in the locker room and I was just putting away my books in my locker and I thought no one was there. And so I was singing a bit just to myself, out loud a bit, not too loud, but just enough so people could hear it. But I thought no one was there in the locker room. And then eventually there was this classroom mate of mine and he stood behind the pillar, but I didn't see him. And he was like, hey, I didn't know you can sing. And I was terrified because I was, oh wait, no. I'm not very good at singing. And they were, yeah, you are, you should do with it. There's something with it. And I was like, oh, maybe sometimes. And eventually I started like posting videos online of doing covers of known songs, basically.
So this person that you met in the locker room is basically giving you the motivation to trust your instinct to start.
Yes. Yeah, but it was like a very small spark because after that I didn't really do anything with it. but it was the first time I got to, you know,
to be recognized for like your talent.
Yeah, you could
But
say.
that moment is important.
Definitely, if that wouldn't have happened, you never know how it goes, right? But I mean, it could have been the spark that, you know, got it all rolling.
Have you let him know?
No, not yet. Maybe I should. So.
You know, maybe.
Yeah,
no, but you know, maybe he watches the podcast suddenly. Like,
yeah,
maybe the podcast reach his audience, and then he sees it, and then like, man.
I think it was. If I'm correct, because it's a long time ago. If I'm correct, I think it was a girl back then.
Oh.
Moisha, I think she's called. So I might, you know, message her and say, like, hey, you might have sparked something. So that's
But that's
great.
good to have. Yeah. As a child, I had people that sparked my musical journey, and it's really important to have people that see your talent.
Yes, definitely. During my high school, I wasn't really working on music or even thinking that could be something that would be, you know.
That was a very distant.
Yes, and I only started like eventually I started posting covers of well-known songs on my Instagram, just very casual with like AirPods in and camera in front of me, and I was very scared to, you know, to get it out there because I was afraid of what people might think, you know. That's something that I have, unfortunately, sometimes. But I started doing that, and the reactions were great. Like, people said, like, "Hey, this is really good."
Yeah.
And if I listen back to it now, it's like, oh, well, you know, it could have been better, but you have to start somewhere. And then eventually, I got picked up by a producer from Belgium, Sam. He's doing a great job right now. I'm always promoting him because he's been that person that everyone needs to get that push in your back, you know, to really explore what you want to do. And he saw my potential, and he was like, hey, I can hear what you do, and I really like it. And have you ever written a song before? And I was like, no, not really. So then he took me under his wing, and then we started working together a lot.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, he's got like colleagues in the music industry that needed vocals and that needed top lines. So he said, I've got a bunch of people that might need your voice, so might as well just work on it together. And we started working very intensely, on almost like a daily basis. And eventually that got everything rolling, and from there on, I started to work with different people. The people that he suggested me to work with had people that you know, needed vocals. So, and before I knew it, I was doing something that I really loved, without having the feeling of, oh, I'm working now. You know, I've never had one day where I worked on my music and felt like, oh, you know, I need to do it again today. It's so fun, and it's just like being creative has always been a big part of what I love doing. And you know, it's just beautiful to be able to turn your hobby into your job. But the still job is like not the right word.
I get what you're saying, and I had a similar person helping me in the beginning. I think it's very important to have a person like Sam.
Yeah, and I've been brought up in a very musical family, so none of my family members play an instrument. I don't play instruments either. I don't even know how to read notes. So I'm not schooled in music whatsoever. But my parents always thought that music is such a big part of growing up, and it's a way of people expressing themselves and being able to recognize those things from those songs, and kind of compare it to things that you're going through in life, and seeing it as some kind of like a comforting kind of thing. So I always been brought up with like music around me. There was always music in the background while we were eating, or when we were in the car. I would sing in the car with like to holidays, you know, family vacations, and I would be in the back of the car singing the lead voice, and then my mom would do the second voice, and my dad would also sing along. And
so they've been very supportive, like they've been very good and supportive with giving you the foundation of music.
Yes, definitely. I think if they wouldn't have done that, I think the passion that I have for music now wouldn't exist the way it does right now.
Yeah.
And
also maybe the trust.
Yes,
in the music and in the process of.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been very creative, and they knew that.
Yeah.
They could see it from a very young age. They bought me when I was like 10 or something. My dad was away for the military, and he came back home after half a year, and he brought me this keyboard. Like a very very easy, like a simple one.
Yeah.
But they knew that I was eventually going to do something that had to do something with being creative and not even music in general, but just being creative.
Yeah.
And so I followed, like in high school, I followed like this theater class. So I had this like, this 4 years of doing drama. It's what they called it. I've always been doing something creative, and I know that I'm probably not a person that would go easy on like a 9-to-5 job, or sitting behind a desk the whole day and just doing like, and for some people that works, that's totally fine, and I completely get why people do that as well. But the only way, or one of the most important ways for me to express myself is through music.
Yeah.
If I go through something, if I experience something that is like it's laying on my chest too much, then I just tend to immediately write it down. Message your producer, say like, hey, I've got this idea because this is happening right now. I'm going through this process, and I really need to get it off my chest. And then we make a song, and it's like, for me, that's therapy.
Yeah.
It's a way of expressing myself and feeling great afterwards. Yeah.
I in my music, I pour my feelings into it, because then I can cope and digest, and then I can leave it behind. And the music is kind of like a part of my soul.
Yeah.
And then the soul is continually on a journey. When I grew up, I had this idol I looked up to, and I was at this concert, and I remember so well being 9 years old, and he said, the musical journey is different for everybody.
Definitely.
But as long as it comes from the heart, you can never do it wrong.
No.
And that was Robert Wells, and he has a similar name to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I know that you had an experience when you were a kid.
Yes. Yeah. How do you know that?
No, I'm good in my research.
Oh, damn. That's really nice. Yeah. That was actually, I think that's so apart from the person in the locker room, I think that was the first time that I really got to experience what music means.
Yeah.
We had these like shops where they would still sell records and CDs and DVDs. Like it's an ancient kind of thing. But I once went there with my parents, and eventually they lost me in the store, and they were looking they were searching for hours. Like they totally lost me. They were panicking as well. It's like, where's our kid? And then eventually they found me sitting like this in front of like the TV screen that they had like hanging up there in one of the aisles, and they were showing the Robbie Williams live at the Royal Albert Hall, the DVD.
Yeah.
And I was just completely, focused on that screen, and they just saw me sit there, and they were like, huh? Okay, well, he likes that, and that show is so good because it's got everything entertainment needs.
Yeah.
Obviously he's an amazing guy. He's a very talented guy, but he's got charisma.
Yeah.
He knows how to work his audience. Next to having like a great voice and also great songs, the whole show, like the whole thing is just one big, piece of entertainment. And as a kid, that really was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life up till that moment.
How old were you then?
I don't know. I think I might have been like 6 years old or something. 6 years old. I was very young. Like I can still remember sitting there. So
he is one of my favorite artists also.
Yeah.
Just because his talent is so raw.
Yeah.
he's so professional with his audience. He takes his fans so seriously.
Yes, definitely.
He takes care of everyone around him.
Yeah.
And he's a funny guy, like like he's a loving guy, and no, I share the exact same feeling as you. But it's great to hear that you, as 6-year-old, just like discovered that yourself.
Yeah.
Without your parents, without just like the universe. Showing you. Music.
Yeah, my parents always been that ways. They always had the idea of, we don't want to force him into liking anything or doing anything. So also with sports and with all kinds of things. Also with the drama, like the theater thing that I had in school. They were like, hey, as long as you like it, as long as you love what you're doing, we're not going to be worried about what your future might look like. I have had friends that had parents that said, we want you to do exactly this, otherwise it doesn't fit in the family tree, and that's just I'm really thankful and grateful for my parents to be that flexible and giving me the opportunity to explore my horizon myself and just be able to be creative and don't feel fear for it as well, because it's sometimes it could be a scary thing to express yourself in a way that other people wouldn't do that quickly, so I'm really grateful for that.
When you are creative and when you make music, there's no and you said it earlier, like there's no pressure.
No. And I think I would have that pressure because I had a lot of side jobs, while doing my music in the first few, like a fair amount of years. And I didn't enjoy that at all because it felt like, I have to do this, to be able to pay my rent and provide for myself. And as soon as I can let go of that, of those mandatory things to get that financial structure or whatever structure you need, as soon as I could let go of that, I was so happy. Like immediately I was like, yes, I can finally do whatever I like doing the most, what I love to do.
Do you remember that moment when that happened?
Yeah, so that was like, I think it was like 2.5 years ago or something. I was working like this, it's actually a great company. It's like a company focused on students that are need to have like a very flexible job. And it was like just carrying heavy stuff into houses, like helping people move, but also like building festivals. So sometimes I was even, building a festival that my music is being played on. And it was really intense, like hard work. There's something beautiful in that as well, because then you really get to know, like, okay, this is what it takes to eventually be able to do what you love. And I feel like that's why I'm happy I'm not like famous overnight. I want to build this and I want to know where I'm coming from. I want to remember where I'm coming from. I want to be able to also think like, hey, I had those shit jobs in the past, but that's all for a reason. And that's the sole reason that I can do whatever I like right now. So I could definitely remember when it was like the message saying like, hey, I'm too busy. I just can't commit to any job anymore because it's just, my work is going very good at the moment, and I'm getting way more things that I can do and opportunities. So I think I'm gonna have to leave the company, and that moment was like, it's such a big relief because I could finally start doing what I love the most.
How old were you then?
I mean, I'm 26 now, so I would have been like 24, 20.
So it's like 2 years ago?
Yeah, 23 and a half, something like that. It's not too long ago, actually, yeah.
But that's great.
It all happens for a reason. That's my I think one of my, core kind of philosophies. It's, I just let it all happen and enjoy everything that I can, that comes on my path, and like meeting you today, it's like, it's crazy. I'm very excited also to make the song and to have a great chat. And I think I had this conversation with someone yesterday about how a lot of people think the music industry is very superficial or like surfaced in a way. But then I say like, well, when we do a session, probably the first thing that we do is not even make a song. We're not even talking about music most of the times. We're just, also it's a big part of it, but the first 1.5 hours, maybe sometimes 2 or 3, you know, we're just talking about life and talking about what we're going through. And you have to kind of like immediately open up to get to know each other in a very fast kind of way, because you only get to know each other, you know, on the day itself, and then you have to make a song. It's like, it's actually pretty impressive that what we're doing is like we're opening up to each other while we don't even know each other yet.
Yeah.
And then from that, like a beautiful thing is created, and it's not even existent when you meet, you know. It's you start from scratch, and you're just like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Oh, can you you know, kind of like recognize that and feel the same way, and then you write something in that direction, and then it's like, okay, that's beautiful. You just discussed life, and then from that conversation, something just emerged, and you know, made a song about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most about it. It's just every day is different, and every song is different as well.
How do you manage to handle the pressure and the expectations towards like when you write for yourself versus when you go into a session and it's for another person project?
I mean, it's a different world.
Yeah.
You want to, you know, not all artists are really looking for something too deep. Like there's a lot of artists that just want to have like very easy lyrics that, you know, that have a kind of like a collective feeling of, for example, like we are strong, you know, just to give an example. And that's fine, because as long as the hook melodies are fire, then it's nice, you know. But those songs oftentimes are not my favorite songs to write, because it's like very surfaced and superficial. And whenever you like have a session and you need to get something off your chest, and there's a producer saying like, I love that. I mean, I hate for you to go through that, but you know, it's a perfect thing. Like everyone goes through it, and people can find themselves in that same situation, and I think that's just very different than you know, than having like a very, very general kind of like song, generic. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. When I make my own music, and I have been making my own music for my solo project that is coming out later this year, then it's really like, okay, I don't have to ask anyone for permission. I don't have to, you know, think about stuff that I might not say because it's too deep. No, I can just fully go out there and, you know, this is what I feel, and I'm just exactly write down what I'm feeling. Obviously, you know, make it a little less, you know, direct or straightforward, and make it more poetic in a lot of ways. But I feel like that's my favorite part of writing, and just being able to express what you're feeling. And you know, like I said, it's therapy for me. It's like I definitely support therapists, going to therapists, because I do it myself as well. I think it's a thing that should be done more, especially among men. But
you know, this is a subject that I didn't think that we were going into, but since you were mentioning it, I agree with you. I think men should really open up more.
Yeah.
But in today's society, I'm not sure if a therapist is the right way. I think actually a good friend, a close friend, a person that you trust, that you can share your stories with, because sometimes a therapist can make it into a case. Yeah. And then it's the case that is the...
labeling something maybe or something.
Yeah, like, you know, like you're sitting there and you're talking about like your feelings and like, oh, this is kind of like nagging me down, and then like, oh, how can we work those feelings? And, and it becomes this case of like trying to solve it. Yeah. But then sometimes it's more about just letting the body let it go. Yeah. And how can you let it go to a therapist that you see once a week, that you know, you are paying. Like I wouldn't sit there cry, like showing all my emotions. That would take years of time to get to that trust level. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like if you have a person that you really trust and really care for, it could be a friend or a relative. Doesn't need to be like your mom or your dad, but it could be like a cousin, but somebody that you can share your emotions to.
Yeah,
that you
definitely.
can cry on their shoulders without like afterwards saying like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Definitely. I think I totally get what you're saying. I think those worlds can live together as well.
Yeah, 100%.
It's also nice to have like a combination.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to go to the therapist every week. You know, some people do it every 3 months.
That was my point. I think some people they go to a therapist too often.
Yeah.
Maybe, like if it's like once a week, then maybe you.
Yeah, you also need time with your friends or relatives and have someone that you like fully trust. You know, because I know what you mean. Like with a therapist, it's sometimes it's hard to realize that okay, well this person is doing their job, but they're not really necessarily doing it for me.
Yeah.
And that's where your friends and your family come in. You know, they can really listen to you, and they know exactly who you are, and they know exactly what you think. Yeah.
Music like this, sitting with you talking, and then afterwards I know that we're gonna talk even deeper.
Yeah.
Get to the core of the song, and then
definitely.
suddenly like there's an emotion there, and then I start crying. You know, because it's like. That's the beauty of music, because suddenly you touch something within you that you haven't even thought about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, turn off the cameras for a bit. I have a business idea. No, maybe no. I mean, that could work. Like, I was thinking about getting like a retreat or something.
Yeah.
Where DJs and writers are together, and just a person that is not in the music industry at all, that suffers from something or that needs to go to someone. I think music can be a very good way of having those people that have nothing to do with music whatsoever to share their stories and seeing their stories being created into a song and being involved into that song as well. So go, maybe cooperate in the writing process as well, and like those kind of things could work. Just saying.
And then put up a foundation.
Yeah.
To give back to those people.
Yes, I mean, everyone has their way of expressing their feelings and talking about it, and I just feel like as long as you talk about it, like if you go to a therapist, if you go to a friend, like it doesn't matter to me. Like for me, everything for everyone, there's like a different way of making that work. But as long as you talk to people, talk to your friends and talk to your family. And I know it's still like with some generations of parents that have been brought up in this society where like especially for men, where it's like not done to talk about your feelings or your thoughts. And it's sometimes hard for those people that have those kind of parents to really break through and say like, hey, I really need to talk about this, or I want to. I feel like it's so important to just tell anyone what you feel, Has there been moments where you where you feel like you're like giving a lot in the session of yourself, both from your feelings but also like from your stories? And then, and then you are the only one that is sharing, or do you find sessions to be good in that way that everybody is sharing all the time? I mean, I've got a good sense, I think, for people in general, and usually I kind of like already sense that someone is like down to talk about stuff, or maybe not even, and I think it's good to have that, that receiver. So as soon as you start talking about some deeper stuff, I can most of the times kind of like sense if someone is down to talk about those things. And
that's good that you have that.
I think it's important to have, because like you don't want to be that guy that is oversharing, because some people are just not waiting for that conversation, and that's fine. Like you should respect in everyone in any kind of way when you're in a session. So whenever I feel like I want to share something, I would just very carefully say like, hey, I've got this on my mind. Is this a thing that you're willing to talk about? And maybe eventually, create it like into a song. I just ask that question, and usually you get the honest reaction. And if I don't get the honest reaction, I can mostly, sense if it's an honest one or not. So yeah, I think it's eventually, and that's the nice thing about the music industry, especially amongst songwriters. I think everyone's very like-minded, so everyone's doing the same hobby. Everyone's doing the same thing, and we're all creative people. And I think because we have to open up in a session very quickly, I think you won't find a lot of people that wouldn't be down to talk about real stuff, because eventually from the real stuff the best songs will emerge, I think. In my case, at least, I think.
So in most cases it comes very, very natural for you, so it doesn't feel challenging to be vulnerable and to talk about those things, and that's a really good tool and to have as a person.
I think it's also because of my way of being brought up by my parents. Like my parents have always been very open and always created a safe space where I can just, express my feelings or my thoughts and whatever would be on my chest or mind. And because of that upbringing, I think it's just a normal thing. Like for some people, and that's totally fine as well. It's a process as well. For some people, it's hard to open up and it's hard to talk about stuff because they just didn't have the right environment around them to really talk about feelings or mental issues or those kind of things. So I'm very grateful for that.
Did you have friends that you could share and talk to?
I only have friends that I can share and talk to. Yeah,
that's great.
And that's they always say like, oh yeah, I've got like 50 friends, and I've got like their friends and there, and I don't really believe in that. No. I believe you can have a good time with a lot of people and you can share a lot of things, but having your good friends. You can count them on one hand, maybe two if you really have a big big like small circle basically.
No, I agree with you. For a long time I tried to stay in touch with so many people, and but then eventually it just naturally falls down to the people I've always been around. Yeah, it's as you say, like one hand, maybe sometimes two. Yeah, and that is my experience with it. Yeah. So I do think we share that in common.
Definitely, I think so too. I think that's an artist thing as well, or at least a creative thing as well. Luckily,
is there like one song out of all of the collaborations you've done that you remember the most and that you're most proud of, and that you the people that you worked with was like?
I definitely have that. I was in another podcast where I also told that story, so I don't want to be the guy that constantly talks about that one. But it is the truth. Like it is the song that means the most to me, and also symbolizes the music industry in a whole, basically. It's Gravity with Garrix, obviously, but it's not about obviously I love Maren. He's a great guy. He's probably one of the best guys I've ever met in the music industry. Considering his status and those kind of things, he's a very down to earth guy. Yeah. But it's not necessarily about working with him. Obviously, I see it as a big opportunity, a big achievement. So that's not what I'm saying. But we were in the studio with. I was in the studio with Max. Max Adrian is a guy from Germany that lives in Amsterdam, and Max is such a talented producer and such a lovely guy. And with Max, I always have these conversations that we just talked about. It could be about anything. It could be about, oh man, I was dating this girl and we kind of cut ties and it just didn't work out. Or it could be something family related, or it could be anything. And at the time that we went into the studio, I was going through a rough patch basically. So I had a lot of like mental issues. I had a lot of panic attacks. I had a lot of, it was a very, very low kind of moment in my life. And I could recall saying to Max, like, hey, let's write a banger today. I know we say it every time, but I feel like today is just, I feel it somehow. And then Max said, okay, well, let's write something for Garrix then. And we kind of like joked around with it for a bit, But then I said, like, no. Okay, I can remember this moment. We said, no, we're gonna manifest that right now. Like what we are doing today is gonna be a Garrix cut. That's gonna happen. And so I wrote about like the gravity it's about like, the gravity of life. So it's not necessarily about like, it's also being weightless. You want to have the feeling of being weightless. And
no, it's a beautiful song, and the story, the meaning of it, the way that you're describing it, like it makes so much sense when you're saying it, because when I heard it the first time, I felt this like weightlessness. Like you almost felt like you were floating in a different dimension with no overthinking. It was just like pure emotions just floating through you, and it was such a good song to.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
it's a bit of like the bittersweetness in there. So it's like you want to have that weightless feeling. Yeah. But at that time, I didn't feel that at all. I felt like I was pinned down to the earth, and I just really wanted to get something out that represented the feeling that I was carrying for a long time already. And
I have to say that is really impressive. If you were down in the dirt and you were writing weightless songs,
it's difficult.
But then your creativity is impressive, because
thank you.
I met people that are down in the dirt and they can only write down in the dirt songs. Because they are so carried in that emotion. Yeah. But to manage to just like switch that for the day, good on you. And look where that got you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. It's and eventually like that song, which we wrote it in 2022 or something, 21. Yeah. And we pitched it like 5 times to his team, and we got the same answer every time. Like, no, it's not for him. And it's like, oh shit, So we tried to pitch it, and then eventually, it all just was like a full circle moment. Yeah. So it came like he heard it through Semvox, to the other guy that we released the song with, and he
loved it.
And he loved it. He got goosebumps, and he said, like, this is exactly what I want. And that was just like, that's why I said it's also symbolizing. So it's not necessarily that song in particular, because I like the song, and I think it's one of the best ones I made. I think it's also representing that you just don't give up on things. Like we said to each other, this is gonna work. And we didn't give up. We just stayed persistent. We stayed pitching. We tried everything to make it work, and eventually it worked. And that's basically this symbolizing the whole thing of like, don't give up. Just go on, and eventually the universe will sort you out, basically. And so that's for me, like, in combination with how I was feeling and how I expressed my feelings in that song. And then also the way of how that song came with Garrix is I think the whole meaning, and
now when you're just sitting here talking, I feel such an inspirational force, and immediately I was just thinking about like how souls are stardust, because you were saying like looking up to the universe, and like you feel like the universe had given you a bigger picture of your pure meaning in life, and that is music, and that is like pouring your soul into music. Yeah. And I don't know, there's something beautiful with that emotion, that feeling of eternity, you know? It's something in your soul that you give to the world, and it's eternal. It will never die.
No, definitely. And I think that's also the reason that you should do it.
Yeah.
Not to make money, because, you know, money is nice. Have you ever seen an unhappy person on a jet ski? Obviously, it makes you happy. But
I love the fact that a person from the Netherlands is dropping bomb jokes. Oh my God, that's the first. I love that.
You know,
that was good.
Yeah, well, thank you. I worked very hard on that one.
No, you didn't.
I was practicing. No, I'm joking. No, but you know, it shouldn't be the main drive or something. You know, it should be, and that's exactly what I've always been doing. I'm doing things because I love doing them, and as a bonus, I can live from it, and I can make a living from it, and you know, that should be the sole reason why you make music, just because you love to give the universe what you want at that moment. And whoever wants to like it, good on them. If someone doesn't like it, good on them. I don't mind. Like, if for me, it's my way of expressing myself. And if someone can relate to that, I love that, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm not doing it for anybody else than just me.
Maybe we should write our song today for those people who spend most of their lives giving to others without even notice that they haven't given a single heart to themselves. Because I do feel there's a lot of people that are so kind and so nice to other human beings, but they forget in the process to be nice to themselves.
Yeah, that's definitely a flaw that I have. Taking care of people is very important to me. But in the process, sometimes you tend to forget, hey, I'm also here. And I think that's very important. It's a really good idea, by the way, for a song. That's definitely, people should look out for themselves more, and talk. Like I said, just talk to friends, to family, to anyone, and that's the only way you're gonna be happy, I think.
Man, I'm inspired. Let's do this.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for coming over to Norway. And now we're gonna make a bang.
We're gonna make a banger, man. Definitely.
The song you're hearing is The Minute You Go. And me and James, we had so much fun making this summer anthem, which is a love story that is connecting between two human beings. It's out this Friday. Pre-save it, give it some love if you want to. And the best thing, we're doing it all again next week. Spread the love and catch you later.